Now, available data indicates that since 2015, access to safe water for all citizens has not been encouraging, as some parts of the country have been cut from accessing potable water and sanitation services. Following this development, the Water for All program by the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources was initiated as a national project to provide sustainable basic water and sanitation service for all by 2025. Panelists on Talking Point on Sunday discussed the Water for All agenda and assessed Ghana's progress so far in providing adequate water, sanitation and hygiene services for Ghanaians.
Is it not mind-boggling that with all the capacity we have as a state, with all the resources, we are unable to stop Galamsey? With all the resources we have invested. Recently, I was in the Western North region, and wherever I traveled to, glaringly, you could see people doing the Galamsey activities.
Yeah, or at least
people are passing, and nobody cares about it.
Yeah.
So it's mind-boggling. I think that government must take the bold step, must be committed and have the political will to be able to nip this in the bud. Because otherwise, all the efforts that the ministry and the agencies are making are being derailed. We need to act now. The Water Resources Commission will tell you that Ghana doesn't lack when it comes to access to fresh water. I mean, if you have 53.2 billion cubic meters of fresh water, it means that you should be able to address your challenges. So why are we having these challenges with access to safe water in the midst of all the abundance that we have? One, Galamsey activities. I mean, the water bodies have been so badly polluted. I mean, if you take the MTU, the pollution level of the water, I mean, let me use the layman's term, it is so high.
Because of these activities? Because of these
activities, illegal mining, I mean, farming activities, sun winning. We see all these everywhere, and yet we are unable to stop it.
I think the positive thing about the current approach to how water is treated in one location and moved to another location is that there's an agreement that it is just unfair that you treat water 60 kilometers away, like in Cont. You will pass over 50 communities and bring all the water all the way to Accra. So there's a consensus that there's no way that should happen again. And I think this current ministry, they emphasize that. That at least once the water passes through a certain area, a certain radius, maybe 3 kilometers on both sides of the pipeline, or 1 kilometer, or whatever it is, whatever is feasible, should be served. Maybe if it was not specifically emphasized, it should be emphasized, so that I don't just see a pipeline run in front of me and you say the pipeline is so huge that the cost of even tapping it from that side is so much to even deserve you getting it. That is over. I think the other one is, of course, the focus on this one was on urban water. The rural water components, I believe, will be a separate program. Because if you look at the initiatives that Ghana's Community Water and Sanitation Agency is putting in place, it will definitely require a comprehensive package on its own, because it's a different utility. Now, they used to just be facilitators who are facilitating and helping assemblies. They're in the process of getting onto the status of a utility. I'm sure it is only up to that point that the minister can have something concrete to say comprehensively about the rural water sector. Before then, we will continue to encourage Community Water and Sanitation Agency again, that at least there are a lot of the boreholes that they drilled 10 years ago that are very high yielding, and they're just serving a few people. They should begin a process of mechanizing boreholes and extending the water to communities that are far away, or not too far away, and they cannot get groundwater. That is one thing the Community Water and Sanitation Agency can do.
Now we go straight to Kwewu, where it's a wrap on activities marking Easter, and the spotlight is on Kwewu, where the paragliding festival took place on Thursday at Odrianoma. Other activities were also lined up in several towns at Kwewu. Our Eastern Regional correspondent Michael Tayamate has been observing activities in the region and joins us on phone with some updates. Good afternoon, Michael.
Hello, afternoon, Samuela.
Now, it's been 4 days of fun moments at Kwewu Easter Festival. Can you tell us some of the interesting moments so far, especially for the fact that the festival was suspended for almost 2 years due to the outbreak of COVID-19?
Well, thank you so much. The Kwewu Paragliding Festival and the Easter festivity today has come to an end. Especially the paragliding festival is coming to an end today with about 170 passengers. They took part in the exercise. Now, if you look at the Easter celebration as a whole, I must say that this year it was very, very peaceful and successful, because all the tourists that came to the range over here, they comforted to themselves very well, and then they have a peaceful celebration. Just that they've recorded some minor accident cases. Yesterday at Kwewu Abetife, a certain Toyota car ran into a certain viaduct Italy and ran into a certain store. In the process, killed one young guy at Kwewu Abetife, and one also happened at the TBA government hospital, the entrance there. And fortunately, I think they've sustained different kind of injuries, but they've rushed them to the TBA government hospital. And yesterday we went there, and we were told by the doctor that they are responding to treatment. This year, I must take the opportunity to commend the security agencies, the police, the military, and other security services that were deployed to Kwewu Ridge for this, to ensure security in this. They've done very, very, very well. Every corner that you pass in the ridge, there's a security present there. Previously, when it's happening like that, you know, some bad ones also come here, also do some unacceptable things. I think this year, because of the heavy security presence, they did not record any of such activities. There were a number of entertainment shows from Thursday to yesterday. That the musical concerts, marathon and other entertainment shows were held throughout the ridge. Now, every community this year participated in this year celebration, because previously it was only Kwewu, Obomi, Obu, TBA, and Betifi that normally took part. But this year, look at all the sub towns in the Kwewu Ridge, they participated in this celebration. So I must say that this year's celebration was successful. Previously, where there is a huge, they experienced huge vehicular traffic. I think this year, because of security presence and the measures put in place by the various assemblies in the area, I think this year we didn't experience any much traffic. Unlike previously, before you you get to Koko to Obomi, it can take you like 2 hours before you reach Obomi. But this year, less than 10 minutes, then you are Obomi and in Price. So in terms of security-wise, I think the police people and the security agencies, they did very, very well. Yesterday, to the Abetifi chief, I was also taking the opportunity to also wrap up his 30th anniversary with the former Vice President John Dramani Mahama was present at the occasion yesterday. So it was a colorful debate yesterday at Kwewu Abetife. So in a whole, I must say that the atmosphere, in fact, is good, and they comported themselves. I think today people are going back to their various destinations. So today, from the morning till this time, I think the place is a little bit quiet, because a lot of them went back to their various destinations yesterday.
Thank you very much, Michael. That was Eastern Regional correspondent Michael Tay Amati updating us on the Kwewu Easter Festival. You're watching News Hour live on GBC News and on GTV. Also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Also in this package, the death of popular Nigerian gospel singer Osi Nachi Nachuku, known for her hit song Ekueme, has attracted comments from across the world. This is due to reports that she refused to leave her marriage despite domestic violence she was suffering because of her commitment to the church. In a chat with the founder of the Believers House of Worship International, Reverend Abraham Lamte, he strongly condemned domestic violence of any form. He says although the church will continue to pray and intercede for peaceful marriages, no woman should ensure abusive marriages. Oninachi Naguchuku, 44, died on Friday, April 8, and was alleged to have died from health complications related to domestic violence.
When God was bringing Adam and Eve together, prayer is a protective something. It is not a provision something. So you don't marry the man you can live with. You don't marry the woman you can live with. Rather, you marry the man you cannot live without. And you marry the woman you cannot live without. So if you know without this person you can't live, you will definitely not maltreat the person. The reason why you get into marriage determines how the marriage will be. And as pastors, I think both pastors and those in the media and society must take part of the blame. Because when a gospel artist gets divorced right now, you will stop featuring them. You stop featuring them on your media houses. Pastors will no longer invite them to come and sing. So to avoid this rejection, they will suffer and suffer and suffer. And then when they die, you come back to question. We have programmed society to kill people, not to give life to people. So with Osinachi's case, seriously, I say it here, me, even if I see your husband beating you, I will bring my pickup. Pack your things, take you home before we take off with the divorce. Because God hates divorce, but does not hate divorcee. He is a soul-oriented man. It is nowhere in scripture that you should stay in an abusive marriage and pray to change the man. It is nowhere. I have not seen marriage being established by prayer. It is not there. Because God, who is the author of marriage, has principle.
Now, Jehovah's Witnesses have observed the memorial of Christ's death, focus on how Jesus' life and death can benefit all, also called the Last Supper or the Memorial. It is the most sacred event for Jehovah's Witnesses worldwide. A report by Shirley Bewa.
Jesus instituted the Lord's evening meal on the date of the Jewish Passover, and he died later that same day. This was no coincidence. The scriptures compare Jesus' sacrifice to that of the Passover lamb. The Passover was observed once every year. The pattern established by Jesus helped determine not only the frequency, but also the date and time of the memorial. He introduced the observance after sundown on Nisan 14, 33 CE, according to the Bible's lunar calendar. Likewise, the memorial of Jesus' death was observed once every year by the early Christians, and Jehovah's Witnesses follow that same Bible-based pattern. This is inspired by Luke 22 verse 19, which partly says, "Keep doing this in remembrance of me." For the observance, Jesus used unleavened bread and red wine from the Passover meal. Following his example, Jehovah's Witnesses use bread without leaven or added ingredients and plain red wine. The main feature of the memorial was a talk that reviewed the importance of Jesus' death and how we can benefit from what God and Christ have done for us.
Based on the ransom, Jehovah's has made a provision for mankind to enjoy perfect life on earth. Even though our first parents, due to their disobedience, lost the beautiful privilege. But based on the ransom, Jehovah has given us hope that we will enjoy a perfect life, which he gave to our first parents. The memorial is for everybody.
The memorial of Christ's death calls attention to the great victory Jehovah God gained over Satan and what Jesus Christ did for us. It also highlights the example Christ set for his followers. For GBC News, Shelley Bewa reporting.
The training of about 5,000 girls in ICT for 5 regions under the Ministry of Communication and Digitalization is at its final stages. The training forms part of strategies to ensure that Ghana achieves the Sustainable Goal Development Goal 5 and Ghana's ICT 4AD policy on bridging the gender gap. After their training, the girls will participate in a competition which also introduce them to basic structures of ICT programming. The regions are Bono East, Ahafo, Savannah and Northern Region. Our Bono East regional correspondent Samuel Ayama joins us live from Techiman for an update on the training. Good afternoon, Samuel.
Thank you very much, Samuela. We are here in Techiman, the capital of the Bono East region. Straight to business. Now, what can you tell us about the training so far?
Thank you very much. The Girls in ICT training so far has been very successful and it's going very well. As you already know, we have trained 100 teachers as part of lineup, and we have also trained 1,000 girls. As part of them getting ICT training, they learned topics like Scratch, we did coding, we did HTML, we did website development, games, and others. This year, the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization, we are expanding the Girls in ICT to 5 different regions. We are starting in Bono East here, where mentorship and climax will happen tomorrow, and then climax on Wednesday, all at Valley View University. All at Valley View University. And so from Bono East, we are going to Bono. We will go to Ahafo. We will be in Savannah, and we'll be in Northern Region to climax for the year 2022.
What actually necessitated this move?
Okay, so it is to bridge the gender digital divide. You know, most of the time, girls are lacking behind when it comes to ICT education. So it is an initiative by the International Telecommunications Union. The Ministry of Communication and Digitalization has brought it, and our minister has expanded it to reach every girl in Ghana.
So far, those regions that you've been to, how will you describe the whole exercise?
The whole exercise has been very successful. I don't know if you followed us in Northeast.
Yes,
we did Northeast last year, and we did Western North. Before then, we have been to Ashanti region, we've been to Central, Western, Eastern, and other places. We haven't even done Greater Accra already. So this year, as part of the effort to get more girls, we have expanded it to 5 regions, and that's why we are here.
So are you putting some measures in place, the Ministry of Communication, to sustain this project?
Yes, there's a lot of effort to sustain it. You know, our ministry has a lot of agencies. So we are collaborating with GEFE, Kofi Annan, Cybersecurity, NCA, and others to keep the girls' training sustainable. Laptops and everything that are given to the girls are already on ground, and so everything is in place.
Do you see some level of competition among the girls during the training exercise?
Yes.
Are they eager to learn?
Very, 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 very. We have been to regions where girls who have not seen computers before have been able to learn things that they've been taught, and they can run you an adult through it. Something like coding, the app development. They can come up with a game, let's say football. So I press A and I'm in the net. I press B and you're in the net. Then we compete. So they have finished all these girls to write exams, and there will be selection. So the first 3 girls get ICT labs for their schools, apart from what they get for themselves. They have the laptop, they have modems, they have internet connection and all of that. I had to add that they are going to serve as ambassadors in the various communities that they've been selected from. And so they are going to keep expanding the education of ICT to reach the far and the wide, to ensure that the girls in the communities are beneficiaries as well. Parents, females, everywhere will be targeted. And so the ICT ambassadors are now going to set up coding clubs. The coding clubs will have all the members in training and learning and expanding what we have taught them. So it's not like I get benefit in the training and so I am on my own. These 1,000 girls have been selected from all the districts in Bono East. We are going to do same when we go to Bono. We are going to do same in Ahafo. And then at the end of it, they are awarded for their outstanding efforts.
So have they been taught how to use the net in order not to abuse it?
Yes, I had to add that cybersecurity is one of the agencies under us as well, and our ministry has taken cybersecurity education very seriously. If you all recall, October, the month of October in every year, has been set aside as cybersecurity month. The cybersecurity team sends members all through Ghana, educating the young ones, adolescents, everybody on cybersecurity education. I have always told the girls that most of the time, the life on the internet is a life on its own. It is no more Techiman, it's no more Accra, but global. So if you sit behind a PC that you have been educated, we tell them it is not just click. Don't pay attention to the pop-ups. Think before you click. This year, our theme is access and safety. You have access to the ICT device. Your safety is also important. So all these ones, we are doing it hand in hand to ensure that they don't sit there and only share photos. Like example, people are asking us why girls share nude photos and stuff. If you are a female and you have gotten this training, it's not for you to share your nude photos. I have told them time without number. A man who is in love with you won't share your nakedness with another man. No matter what you wear, a man who loves you loves you. Don't go onto the social media and start sharing nude photos. It won't help us. So the Girls in ICT project by the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization, our aim is to bridge the gender digital divide and ensure that females, girls, take up career courses in ICT.
Thank you very much, Na. I've really enjoyed the conversation here. I have been speaking with the head of communications at the Ministry of Communication and Digitization. Now, I can't continue with the other name, so we'll end it here and then follow the climax of the project here in the Bono East region tomorrow, and then update our viewers and cherish listeners both on Radio Ghana on whatever that is happening here. For GBC News, Samuel Ayama, Bono East, Techiman.
Now, an appreciation service has taken place in Accra for 11 ministers of the Church of Pentecost at the end of their mission duty. They each received a plaque of honor and a cash token for their service to God and the Church.
The 11 ministers were Apostle Conan Rogaten, Church of Pentecost Benin, who served at Burundi for 4 years. Pastor Thomas Anane served at Equatorial Guinea for 7 years. Pastor Eric Sumwa served in Tanzania for 4 years. Pastor Hunenu Goja of Church of Pentecost Benin served at Mali for 5 years. Pastor Peter Ishen served at Lesotho for 7 years. Pastor Kwasi Kweku Yeboah, Church of Pentecost Cote d'Ivoire, spent 6 years in the Central African Republic, and Apostle Abraham Arthur took oversight responsibility of the churches in Ukraine, Russia, Poland, and Hungary for 5 years. The rest were Pastor Daniel Owusu-Echao, who served at Zambia for 5 years and later at Cameroon for 7 years. Apostle Daniel Atu Edia also served at the Czech Republic for 5 years. Apostle Edmund Apia, Church of Pentecost UK, spent 7 years in Finland, whilst Apostle Ajiman Tabi of the Church of Pentecost Italy served at Austria for 5 years. The ministers were each given a plaque of honor and a cash token in appreciation of their meritorious service to God and the Church. The president of the Apostolic Church Ghana, Apostle Dr. Aaron Amina, said the gesture was to celebrate dedication and hard work.
We wanted to show appreciation to these people who have really gone out of their way, okay, to contribute to the work of God. We want to appreciate them so that they know that we are grateful for what they've done. We selected just a few. We have many people in that same circle, and we believe that in due time they will also be honored.
The recipient expressed gratitude to God and the leadership of the church for the opportunity given them to serve the Lord and the church, as well as the honor done them at the event.
Still watching News Live on GBC News and on GTV. We'll be back shortly. Please don't go away. You're welcome back. Now let's do business. Salaries received through mobile money platforms in Ghana will be affected by the electronic transfer levy, that is the e-levy, which is expected to start next month. In an earlier interview with the chief executive of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, Mr. Ken Ashibe said the chamber sees such an act as discriminatory and has called the GRA to take a second look at that.
If you know your salary is paid by GBC now with a bank account, you would have paid your PAYE on it. There will be no e-levy on it. But if the GBC decides to pay you through your mobile money, then you'll be taxed. So we believe that's discriminatory. And it's something that we are asking GRA to be able to look into. And so the whole issue, and if you look at it, the law is silent about corporate mobile money accounts, but the law talks about transfers to a bank, individual person's bank account. That's also another source of discrimination, because we know that there are a lot of corporate bodies that are also involved in using mobile money to do their transaction and all of that. And if these corporate bodies are registered for taxes and all, we think then that, there should be no discrimination. If the banks are also exempt, then people who use mobile money or the fintech services that are corporate, and they can demonstrate the fact that they pay their taxes on a regular basis, the same exemption should apply.
Now, starting off with 4,600 cedis per ton in January 2022, iron rod is currently selling at 6,200 cedis at some retail outlets in Accra. Traders say the situation could have been worse if not for the timely intervention of government's $2 billion investment aimed at strengthening the cedi against the dollar on the international market, a major regulator of prices of general goods and services in the country.
The global economic shock within the last 2 years has crippled almost every economy across the world, and Ghana is no exception. Kickstarting the year with a 5.5% economic growth rate and an expected inflation rate between 8 and 10%, Ghana's economy was projected to be buoyant among its peers in the sub-region. However, unforeseen circumstance from Russia's invasion in Ukraine has not only disrupted supply chain of building materials such as iron rods from Ukraine, but also fuel hike with its attendant transport fares. Ukraine is the source of more than 50% of iron rods on the Ghanaian market, a key component in the building and infrastructure industry. Also, the drop in the value of the major trading partners has pushed the prices of iron rods up, with some traders describing the inflationary pressures in the last 3 months as phenomenal. Checks conducted by the news team at some retail centers in Accra indicate that currently an 8mm rod costs 12 cedis 70 pesos, while that of 20mm is pegged around 140 cedis. A supervisor at Easteron Ventures at Pokuasi, Mr. Bright Asempa, said the announcement by the government to inject $2 billion into the economy to stabilize the local currency is gradually being felt along the value chain.
It started shooting up subsequently to 4,800, then from 4,800, then shoot up to 5,400. Then it continues like that till this time. As they pump in money, now it becomes stable.
Mr. Ezekiel Asumpa also deals in iron rods and lamented on the low demand of his goods recently. He was hopeful that prices will be stable for a longer period to clear his goods on sale.
Businessmen affect market woman. I feel now Budra Kakrano Ababeto or Basana Kosura. Ontimi ntɔ deɛ wɔsɛ wɔtɔ no na watɔ kakra bi no ɔkɔ obi wɔ nso otimi gyae sɛ bi a kɔ fam a na waba bɛtɔ.
Analysts say special attention needs to be given to the setting up of more cement and iron rods factories under the government's industrialization drive, like the one district, one factory, in order to ease pressure on the pockets of Ghanaians and the city.
Finally, in business, a deputy for Finance Minister, Mr. John Kuma, says a drive by government to reduce food import bill of over $2 billion would be realized if agriculture becomes attractive to the youth in the country. Speaking at the Maiden Youth in Agriculture Summit in Kumasi, he explained that the youth do not only have the energy but also constitute the majority of the population and can easily adapt to technology trends to enhance productivity.
The World Bank says about 7.9 million people in Ghana are engaged in farming. However, most of these farmers are within the age bracket of 50 to 70 years and are into subsistence farming. The development has contributed to the huge food import bill, including rice. Mindful of this, a summit to whip the interests of the youth in the agricultural value chain has been held at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Kumasi. The youth were exposed to new trends in the agric sector, including financing, technology, management, and opportunities in the domestic and export markets.
If we see value in agribusiness, we will surmount every limitation and every trouble and obstacles to get there. And that is my focus. My focus is that we will mentor some of you and almost all of you here. From here, we want to transition you from the conference grounds to the actual work on the ground.
The youth are the now generation. The now generation means we should be able to start training the youth to take up the mantle, not when we are gone. We should start now. We are going to concentrate only on women or ladies in agric. That is what we are doing this year. So we want to see more young ladies coming up with their own, one, it can be concept, two, it can be farming. That's what we are interested in. We're also going to support that.
A Deputy Minister for Finance, Mr. John Kuma, said there is the need to change the narrative in order to ensure the country's food production and security is taken up by the most productive labor force, which is the youth.
Every equipment that will make agriculture easy for the youth to go into it at commercial scale level, we have to import. These things must change. And I'm happy to announce that government has taken steps to ensure that very soon we are not just going to have the tractors being assembled in Ghana, we are actually going to manufacture and fabricate various agricultural implements in our country to support the young people to go into large-scale commercial farming.
The Ghana Youth Agriculture Summit was organized by AgriWealth's Ghana Foundation in collaboration with the National Entrepreneurship Innovation Program.